Hello, welcome to Yoga and Meditation. My name is Katie, and you reached us at Elle Studio and Wellness in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So let's go ahead and get started by just meeting where you're at. We'll just get right into it. So if you've just rolled out of bed and this is your morning practice, go ahead, find a nice lying down posture. Otherwise, if you've had an active morning or an active day, then go ahead and come on up to standing. Either which way, we're going to be able to do the same things, and also whatever is most comfortable for you. Okay? So, whether you're lying down or you're standing on up, go ahead and let's close our eyes here. Okay? You can maybe clasp your hands on down, or just hang them onto the side, or maybe clasping them behind you. And taking a moment just to invite yourself into your practice today. So with each breath, convincing yourself that you're about to practice a little bit of yoga, a little bit of mindfulness and meditation. And we're going to begin by opening up the joints. So wherever you're at, just go ahead, just kind of start moving the fingers and the thumbs and the wrists and those elbows and getting those shoulders moving. Again, you could do this either lying down or standing up. Again, just meeting in the middle wherever you are at so far today. Go ahead and just move that head around a little bit, turning the nose side to side. Just kind of moving and wiggling the spine a little bit here. We're going to get on into that a little bit deeper. So just saying good morning to your spine, good morning to your torso, and then just moving around the knees and the ankles and the toes. If you're lying down or standing up, if you're feeling any need to kind of stretch things out a little bit, go ahead and do whatever you need to do here. Just say hello to your physical body, about to take you on this journey here. And where your hands are at, it's kind of a nice functionality here, mobility. If you just go ahead and start clasping your hands together and start swinging your fists in a figure 8 or an infinity symbol. And closing your eyes and just recognizing that heat that starts to build somewhere inside just by doing this hand movement. The subtleties of our practice today. And then switch the clasp of your hands. And then try and go the opposite direction. So getting that brain, that coordination working already this morning. Okay. Now wherever everybody is at, let's go ahead and let's find a seat. Okay? So whether it's sitting in a chair, on a blanket, doesn't have to be any specific seat, so just having your feet underneath your knees. In cross-legged position, this is technically called easy pose, so even if you just sit and watch yoga, you're technically practicing yoga. Otherwise, you could find where your ankles are down to the floor, and that just tends to kind of help open and ground the sit bones a little bit more. Or you might find yourself, having one foot out, maybe both feet out. Maybe you just don't want to sit right now and it's too much for the body right now. You can lay down, whatever you want to do here, okay? We want to make sure that your back is slightly relaxed. So if you've taken many of my classes previously, know sitting that tush up a little bit higher than the knees is going to help ease up on that lower back. And it's going to start to slightly relieve some tension on the knees, okay? And if you've taken my classes before, you know that we always start by blowing our nose. So go ahead, if you've got a tissue or a cloth next to you, go ahead and grab it, and let's clear out some of that outside air that might be stuck up in there. We're going to try and find some mental clarity, so let's get out some of that stuffiness. Okay. So with yoga and meditation, they come hand in hand, okay? There's no chicken and egg, okay? We don't really know which one comes first. So let's go ahead and let's just figure this out for ourselves, okay? Maybe we need to tackle the physical body first. Maybe we're able just to very quickly get into our mindset, okay? So we're going to start with some breath practices. Again, this is going to get those lungs juiced up, ready to go. It's going to help balance out essentially the ecosystem within your body, and it's going to aid in that mental clarity because you're going to be focusing so much on how that breath is moving in and out of your body, okay? So if you practiced breath practices before, go ahead and close your eyes. Otherwise, if you're new, go ahead and take your hand to your belly, but low belly, almost in front of your pelvis, okay? And take nice big breaths in and out. I want you to imagine that the breath that's moving in, either through your nose or your mouth, is going straight down to fill up that space under your hand, okay? So it's kind of bypassing the lungs, bypassing the diaphragm, and it's filling, it's expanding that lower torso, so it's filling up that space under your hand. Maybe with your next breath, you can feel that breath moving out into the hips, and then maybe you can feel it moving into your lower back. So we want this 360 expansion of your entire lower torso, and then on an exhale, a contraction of everything moving in towards the spine. So nice, relaxed belly breath to begin. And now bringing your other hand to your rib cage. Again, this is something you can be doing either sitting up, standing up, or lying down. Now split the breath into two waves. The first part of the breath fills up the lower torso, fills up underneath that hand. And then the end of that breath, the second half of that same breath, then goes to expand the rib cage space. And it's the lower ribs, your floating ribs, not your upper chest, okay? So trying to find the map of the anatomy within your physical body, okay? Starting to create awareness on where to bring your breath for specific reasons, okay? So inhaling, filling up the lower torso, and then finishing, expanding the ribs, like you're trying to stretch out each rib from each other, and then exhaling, contracting everything together. Okay? So inhaling lower, middle, and exhaling all together. Inhaling lower 360, middle 360. So ribs expand forward out to the sides and even behind you. So keep this breath going and moving at your own pace. And if you're getting frustrated and if you're not breathing in the right order, it's okay. This is the practice. Okay? Something else is trying to take control of this situation. Let's allow the breath practice to work its magic in order to find a little bit of mental and physical clarity. So lower breath, middle breath, and exhaling. Lower, middle, And exhale. One more time. Hand that was on the belly or the pelvis and almost to your upper chest. Okay? 3-part breath. So we bring the first part of the breath down to fill up the lower torso, the middle of the breath in the middle of the torso, and then you finish that breath with that upper chest, which sometimes creeps up into the head. If the eyes roll back, just let them roll back. If you're finding this extreme loud exhale sigh, just let it out, okay? However you breathe, however you sound, just let it out. Something inside is trying to come up and out, so give it that opportunity. Give yourself permission to feel deeply here, okay? You've earned it. So, again, nice big breath to fill up the lower, the middle, and the upper. Fill up the collarbones, the center of the chest, out through the shoulders, the upper back, and maybe the neck and top of the head. Exhaling. All 3 together. So inhaling lower, middle, upper, exhaling. Go at your own pace here. And let's bring in the sound of the breath, that classic ujjayi component. So the next time you exhale, open your mouth and sigh it out. Notice the constriction of the throat. Try and keep that constriction. As now you do that on an inhale, and keeping your mouth open, kind of like you're sucking in some air a little bit. So whispering, fogging up some glass as you exhale, and then inhale. Again, like you're taking a big gulp of air, or like somebody just told you something shocking. And then very slowly start closing your lips. And you notice that whooshing sound in the throat continuous, okay? If it cuts in and out, that's okay. This is the practice. It will get fluid after a little bit. Let's go ahead and release. Okay. Next breath practice is going to be our fire breath, or our Kapalabhati. Okay. And so this is a stomach pumping breath. So if you're pregnant, just go ahead and keep doing the 3-part ujjayi relaxation breath. Anybody with ulcers or digestive issues, if you want to give this a shot in the beginning, but just take it real easy, and again, just go ahead and work on that 3-part breath, okay? You can still have the same visualization that I'm about to give you, okay? So in the beginning, okay, if you haven't done this before, it has everything to do with the lower portion of your tummy. Again, so it's not your belly, it's not your stomach, it's down further, again, almost in front of your pelvis, okay? So if you want to take a look here, if you haven't seen this before, luckily I just had our second kid, so I'm very expansive here. Go ahead and just kind of stick out your lower tummy muscles, okay? So just really just stick them out, okay? And then find those muscles to pull them in towards your spine. So you're not sucking in, you're pulling those muscles in. Notice that I can still breathe while I'm doing this. So go ahead and push those tummy muscles out and then pull them in, out and in, out and in, out and in. Okay, so notice my shoulders aren't doing any of this stuff. It's just purely the tummy, okay? So when the tummy moves back, it's like you're expelling all of the breath out of your body, that the muscles are pushing the breath out of your body, okay? This one definitely takes some practice if you're not used to it. This is where the mental clarity is really going to come into play, okay? Because you've got to find those muscles and you need to find a rhythm how to breathe, okay? If you're doing your 3-part Ujjayi breath, if this practice is not recommended for you, just keep going. There's going to be a visualization that we're all going to be doing, okay? That's going to boost the mental clarity for all of us. Okay, so it happens on the exhale. Inhale happens naturally, okay? So it looks something like this. So watch in the lower portion of my tummy, breathing out through the nose. Okay, so let's go ahead and start giving it a shot. You know why it was so important to blow your nose in the beginning of class, right? Okay, if you want to try picking up the pace, let's try that, okay? Keep going until you notice that you need to just pause and take a regular breath, okay? And the other thing too, you can start to feel kind of that lightheadedness sensation about you. This is moving the subtle energy, also the oxygen and the blood within your body just by breathing. So this is a practice of understanding how you can maintain health, wonderful health, just by breathing correctly, okay? So now for everybody, whether you're doing Ujjayi or this fire breath, and by the way, the fire breath, noticing maybe a little bit of heat that's building up, okay, we're all going to have the same visualization. So with every breath that moves out of our body, let's visualize that breath coming from a space of depth. It's moving up in the front of your spine, up into the front of your neck, the spinal column still, and that breath is moving up and out in between the brain and the skull. It's crossing or moving past this third eye and escaping out through the nose. So that's on one exhale. Envisioning again, the breath moves up the front of the spine, front of the neck, moves up into the head, in between the brain and the skull. It's moving past the forehead and out through your nose. This is incredible mental clarity practice for especially any of us who are a little anxious or maybe along the side of just great concern or a little bit of depression or just chronic issues, okay? So this is going to be able to aid in that sense of mental clarity, and you'll feel it and you'll have new eyes to look through when you've finished as well. So let's keep going here. So either 3-part or fire breath. Good. Release your practice. And then slowly opening up your eyes. Okay, let's go ahead and let's come onto hands and knees. We won't be here for too long, but sensitive knees, take a blanket and make sure you fold up your yoga mat underneath your knees here. Okay, so let's just do some nice little cat-cows. Okay, you might already feel my yawn is starting to happen here, so go ahead and just start moving it around, moving it around. So whether you're in a chair, just go ahead and start undulating that spine a little bit. Dare I say, find and kind of channel this sense of kind of sensuality within yourself. Okay? So whatever that means, the sense of this kind of sensuality, or some of us respond more to sensuality if we say intimacy. So this intimate awareness of your spine, of your hips, of your shoulders. Again, pressing some of the weight forward and pressing some of the weight back. Okay, get all those snaps, cracks, and pops out. Okay. So prenatal mamas, go ahead and continue sitting back in your chair, or just continue to do some sort of cat-cow process here. Okay? For everybody else, we're going to go ahead and we're going to lie forward onto our tummies. And one of the theories of yoga is that yoga evolved in order to carry the body through a meditation. So in order that the body can maintain in a seated posture for extended periods of time. So think about that when you're in your yoga practice, that maybe this is a form of exercise for the body, but for an incredibly different intention and purpose for a mindfulness or meditation practice. So reach your arms forward in front of you and kind of squeeze your tushy, roll the squishy parts of your thighs inward. Okay, so squishy parts, top parts of your thighs, roll them inward. And we're going to inhale, we're going to lift the head and that chest. We're going to drag those hands back, so see what is happening with the tush, with that lower back. Okay? So this is a very incredible, subtle action here. Even though we're in a slight little back bend here, I want you to continue moving the lower tummy muscles in towards the spine, and then tucking that tailbone under. Okay, like you're trying to lengthen out that lower back. Okay, so hang out here for a little bit. Inhale, draw the hands back a little bit more, so even if that means creeping, inching your fingers back a little bit more. You can keep that tailbone tucking under, squeeze that tush. Head is nice and lifted. If you're sitting in a chair, you're starting to arch that back a little bit, okay? Maybe it means you're leaning back on your chair a little bit more, okay? But still have that essence of your tailbone tucking under. And then exhaling, releasing all the way down. Oh, take that exaggerated sigh of relief. And now, taking the hands back behind you, you can either clasp your hands, if that aids in opening up the front of your chest, or you can just extend your hands back, okay? So we're gonna find our locust pose. Okay, so kind of almost like we're flying through the air like a rocket. Let's go ahead, and again, it starts with the core, so squeeze the tush, tuck that tailbone under, lift the legs, lift the head and the chest. And now find some nice soft breaths here, some ujjayi breaths, that whooshing sound breath. And ask all of the muscles of your spine to kick in here to find a greater curve. So, feeling those muscles in the back of the hips, maybe top of the tush. Feeling those muscles strengthening in your lower back, in those lower ribs in the back, in the middle of your back. Keep those arms slightly lifted back behind you. If your hands are clasped, please release them so that your arms are besides the body. And ask all of those beautiful muscles of your upper back to join in. Maybe feeling some heat and some activity in the back of the neck. So make sure that you slightly tuck your chin under and then find some lift at the crown of the head. So your nose is essentially pointed in the direction of the front of your yoga mat. Inhale, lift it a little bit higher. And exhale, release all the way down. Woo. And let's go ahead and now roll on over. So, prenatal mamas, feel free to join us on the floor here. Wind releasing pose. Exactly the benefit of what it sounds like. So go ahead and extend one leg and bring the other knee on up in towards your chest. For your prenatal mamas, you take your knee out to the side, okay? This is a digestive massage here, so it's called wind releasing pose for a reason, okay? So go ahead, and it's most beneficial to have your left knee up into your chest first. Take a nice big breath in. And then exhale, release, and switch sides. So inhale, if possible, lift your nose towards your knee. Exhale, release and switch. Inhaling, nose to other knee. Exhaling, switch. Inhaling, nose to knee. Exhaling, switch. Okay, don't get this confused with Pilates, okay? So notice that my other leg is completely extended on the floor. Okay, I'm focusing on massaging my digestive system here. I'm not focusing on trying to get six-pack abs. One more time, each side. And go ahead and release. Bringing the feet to the floor, knees bent. We're going to find slight inversion here to really get the juices of the body flowing in all the right places. Okay? So heels down, knees facing the ceiling, feet and knees about hip width apart. And go ahead, start tucking that tailbone under, so lifting with the top of the thighs first, then the hips, then the tummy, feeling that spine really lifting you up. Okay, tuck those shoulder blades under your body. Find some space in the front of your throat and allow the gravity shift to aid in the inversion here. Inverting the body, allowing the blood to move through the vital organs instead of hanging out stagnant at the bottom of your feet. The blood is moving into the digestive system, the circulatory system, okay, into your respiratory system, into your nervous function, your brain development. There's a funny added out there that the longer you hang upside down, the smarter you become. Inhale, lift, and exhale. Go ahead and release it down. Go ahead, just take a nice little twist of the knees out to the side. And to the other side. And when you're ready, go ahead, roll all the way over to a side, and then come on up to your seat. So we prepare the body. Let's go ahead and find our meditation posture, mindfulness practice posture. In the beginning, this is sometimes the hardest part about finding your mindfulness practice, is how you can sit comfortably, okay? So if your body's speaking a little bit louder, and maybe your emotions or your thoughts today, gotta make peace with it somehow, okay? So whether that's building up something underneath your tush, sitting in a chair, okay? Maybe even sitting on a block, okay? Figure out what the legs want to do. Sometimes with knee injuries, you can feel comfortable sitting with one leg extended, the leg that has the knee injury, okay? Sometimes you can sit on your knees and have a block underneath your tush. So you take your feet and kind of straddle the block, and you're sitting up this way. Okay, so you don't have to sit cross-legged. Okay, there's plenty of things that you can buy out there too if you want to get super fancy about it. Okay, otherwise just a basic old kitchen soup pot will do. Okay, so go ahead and find whatever posture feels good for you. And let's close our eyes. You may think that you're about to enter your meditation, your mindfulness practice, but lo and behold, you've been doing it this whole time. You have had to find your space wherever you're practicing. You've had to find your seat, which we've done a few different times. You've had to find your posture with all of the practices we've done so far this morning. And you have to find your breath, which we've done considerably. Those are the 1, 2, 3s of starting a mindfulness and meditation practice. So recognize that you've already begun that process. Okay? It just looks different to everybody. So let's start to hone in and focus now on that breath again. That breath is going to be the facilitator to allow those thoughts to unravel, to allow us to think that all of our negative thoughts are taking control of us. They aren't. Okay? You get to choose how the thoughts affect you. Okay? They don't control you. Throughout this whole experience, you have not been your physical body. You have not been the thoughts in your mind. You have been that something else inside of you that's experiencing the practice. Something inside of you told you whether or not the posture felt good, that the breath was working or not. You've had to convince yourself this entire time to do as I recommended, but you've done it your own way. Okay? Whatever that thing was inside of you, that's what's going to join you in your mindfulness practice now. Okay? So, for a moment here, recognizing that yes, we have a physical body. Yes, it may allow us to sense things, okay? But for a moment, let's practice that we are not our body, that we're something a little bit more. And those mind, those thoughts, do not control us. Okay? Something else deep inside of you is taking a hold. So let's invite that self within you, that space, maybe that little voice inside of you, or that essence about you. Let's invite them to join us in the practice here. Okay? So if your eyes aren't closed already, close your eyes again and bring your hands to whatever posture feels good. I will recommend first finger to thumb, okay? Pretty much instantaneous relaxation and clarity. Okay? If you have a particularly challenging day or you're using this to kind of find some answers, another mudra, okay? And lock, for all intents and purposes. Ganesha mudra is clasping the fingers right at your heart space, so your solar plexus, and on an inhale, you're pulling, and an exhale, you soften the pull. So again, Ganesha mudra, if you're having a particularly challenging day, you're literally feeling kind of torn in your actions, and not sure about the decisions you need to make, use your Ganesha mudra. So let's find that three-part Ujjayi breath again. That constriction of the throat, that whooshing sound, and then breathing down into the full lower torso, middle torso, upper torso. Exhale. Yoga is practicing to find that union, that connection between our body and our mind, and our spirit, our soul, drive, or force, that essence inside of you, whatever you want to call it. Yoga helps to facilitate and solidify that bond. Mindfulness is becoming aware of every situation, every experience as it is in the present moment without judgment. And meditation is beyond that, where you recognize that the body has no concern, the mind has no concern, that you are pure awareness. Often time escapes you here. It's not daydreaming, it's not sleeping. It's that space right in between where you don't really know what just happened. You just feel clear afterwards. All we're doing is being aware of the present moment, which is the breath moving in your body and out of your body. Not letting a single breath in or out without your permission. finger to your third eye, which is that space in the center of your forehead. Just rub it out a little bit. Bring your internal eyes to focus up to the spot. The more you rub, you might get the sensation moving up into the top of your head. So follow that sensation by not taking that hand and rubbing up the top of the head. Bring your internal eyes and attention and awareness to the top of your head. Release your hand and maintain awareness at the top of your head. Feel the breath moving in and out of the top of your head. I invite you to stay here for as long as you'd like to. Enjoy your practice, enjoy the sensations, and when you're done, don't just shrug it off. Allow it to be present, allow it to continue with you through your entire day. Allow your practice to aid you in your decision making today. Maybe enhancing a breath before any heavy lifting. A shift of perspective into a space of creativity if you'll be around kids. Embodying a space of understanding and communication with loved ones. Embodying a sense of safety, tolerance, and loving kindness for your own actions today. Thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful journey wherever we take you. Namaste.